Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I recognize Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I suppose my friend and colleague Congressman Bishop's district probably had more ag losses from 2018 than I did, but I believe that I'm second of the 435 members of the House with regard to the losses from storms for 18. We know the old saying, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Certainly we recognize that's the case in agriculture. The payment for WHIP, the upper payment limit was reduced from $900,000 to $250,000 for the 2018 storms. It was $900,000 for 17. Can you tell me why that reduction was made, just briefly?
Yeah, I think certainly in discussions, both internal as well through across government, we had several conversations looking at how many folks would hit payment limits, as well as managing the dollars, recognizing that there's a limited number of dollars to be able to cover not only losses in 2018 and losses up to now in 2019, but for the balance of 2019 as well. We don't know what further losses might be.
Absolutely, and that brings me to the second point, and forgive me, on a 5-minute clock, I want to move fairly quick. We put $3 billion in. That $3 billion was for the 2018 storms, and just for the other members' knowledge, now that the 2019 storms are going to be paid out of that $3 billion amount that was allocated for 2018, can you tell me how much you estimate the 2019 losses to be?
Well, I think we're all going to agree here, no more hurricanes, right? No more disasters, but as you say, it's balance of 2019 up until now and going forward as well.
What are the losses to date?
To be
paid out of
haven't
$3 billion?
had a large number of losses to date.
We had the Midwest floods.
What's that?
The Midwest floods, do we not have an estimate on that
Much
yet?
of the Midwest floods, the actual coverage will be through crop insurance, either prevent plant through crop insurance or other crop losses through crop insurance. So we'll see a few payments going there, but most of the WHIP payments will go to hurricane areas.
So there is almost $1.5 billion left over from the 2017 disaster payments, is that correct?
There is.
So just for the committee's knowledge, I have asked that the 2017 money be appropriated for the storms of 18 and 19. Forgive me, Mr. Secretary, I know I'm moving fairly fast. I have a lot of things I want to bring to your attention. The USDA gave an estimate on November the 29th of 2018 of the total losses for 2018 to date. The USDA requested a total of $1 billion for Alabama, California, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. We have not seen any updated estimates for the 2018 storms. Are you aware of any updated estimates from your economist for 2018 since November 29th of 2018?
I'm not, and if there have been, I have not seen what a number would be.
I'm not either, and that concerns me greatly. And I, again, apologize for moving so fast, but for example, and I have the breakdown by commodity group, by state, your economist, USDA's economist, said that the Georgia cotton loss was $260 million. Indemnity estimate was $111 million, and $148 million would end up as the net uninsured loss. According to our ag institutions, the University of Georgia, the land grant institutions, and their economists, while you've got $260 million in that slot, we show it as $550 million. I can go down to pecan trees. You show it as $70 million. We show it as $260 million. Again, these are land grant institution economists that we have provided this information to the USDA and asked for updated estimates on what the losses are. My concern is when Congressman Bishop and I were arguing for the $3 billion for the storms, we had the information from the land grant institutions, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, and we could not get the USDA to move off of the $1 billion request. we effectively forced it, if you will, to the $3 billion. And to this date, almost a year later, and my farmers have not received any payments yet from the storm, as you know, not your fault at all. But I don't understand why the estimates have not been updated from November of last year when we know they're not accurate. And I quite honestly think the $3 billion will end up falling very short of what the actual losses were. I'm talking about uninsured losses were for the 2018 crop year. Now we're taking 2019 storms out of it, while at the same time we've got $1.5 billion sitting over there in a lockbox that can't be touched. So any help from the administration in moving that 2017 money into whatever we do in a continuing resolution or appropriations process so that it can be used for the 18 and 19 storms. It's money that's already been appropriated. It just can't be used. But I'm very concerned. I appreciate you. I appreciate your experience in agriculture. I am concerned with the USDA's economist estimates. I'm concerned, and I would suggest that this committee, this cannot take a year the next time somebody goes through a storm the way the state of Georgia did. My people would not be farming today but for a loan program through the Georgia Development Authority that Governor Deal and the state legislature did in a special session, and then Brian Kemp and our state legislature came back in and put more money in it, and they should not have to do that. But for them, my people would not be farming today. And I look forward to the updated estimates from USDA's economists. Thank you, sir.